When we think of the wolf, we usually envision a pack of wild wolves howling at the moon, but there's so much more to these majestic creatures. This video will include the wolf symbolism, popular wolf stories decoded, the wolf in alchemy, the wolf in tarot, the wolf in dreams, and my personal encounters with the wolf. Common words that describe the wolf energy: pride, community, confidence, cunning, ferocity, instinct, mystery, protection, strength, willpower, and shape-shifting. Hello everyone, this is Ashley for FD 1111 Ministries, home of Tarot, Bible, and Alchemy. Loyalty and the Wolf Pack. A wild pack of undomesticated dogs roaming the woods freely. Wolves embody the spirit of freedom and community. In a wolf pack, there's one supreme leader called the alpha wolf. This wolf is a male that's the biggest and strongest of the clan. This is where the title the alpha male came from, the leader of all leaders. There are other males in the pack, beta males. However, other alphas usually leave to find their own wolf pack and are forced out by the alpha male. The lone wolf. The lone wolf is typically an older female wolf that is driven away. She has to therefore find a new clan, and it's less typical for a male wolf to leave the clan to search out new territory. The lone wolf is typically faster, stronger, and more instinctive because they are forced to utilize these natural instinctive gifts that they are given because they're all by themselves. So typically in a human situation, a person that is called a lone wolf is a person that likes to stay to themselves. They could be highly intuitive. They could be loners. They could be individuals with special gifts and powers. They could even be very empathic. The SheWolf. Besides Shakira's popular pop song, SheWolf, this is making reference to SheWolf. The famous Dante from Dante's Inferno depicts three beasts, one being the Lupa, SheWolf. These three beasts, a lion, a leopard, and a white wolf, were mentioned in the biblical text in the book of Jeremiah 5:6. Note, these three could have symbolic meaning for prominent countries, rulers, or even astrological events or zodiacs. Modern commentary notes that these three could be pride, envy, and greed. Werewolves. Werewolves first arose in the European areas and were linked to witches. Wolves like to roam around at night. They like to howl at the moon, and witches are known to work during the witchy hour, which is usually between midnight and 3 a.m. They both enjoy the illuminating glow of the moon. Furthermore, they both could kill humans, so naturally humans would fear them. Somehow, this caused people to think that they had a pact with the devil. And this is where we have the werewolf, half man and half human. The pale wolf, the gray wolf, the white wolf, and the Arctic wolf. So they pretty much are about the same. They just have a little bit of tinting difference. The pure white or grayish wolf arose in the Middle Ages in Greenland and the northern parts of the Americas. These wolves are less aggressive due to the lack of human population. A wolf in sheep's clothing, a popular phrase that signifies a person or even a thing that seems to be pure and has good intentions, but really they have ill plans or intentions. This can be somewhat compared to the boy who cried wolf, false intentions that backfired. One other thing that came to me about how this phrase of a wolf in sheep's clothing, and when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about that the wolf represents the intuition. It represents knowing. And sheep are very docile. They're not too bright. They follow along. They need a lot of guidance. That's why in a lot of texts, not just the biblical texts, they make reference to sheep needing the shepherd. And I know that when people use that phrase, they try to say that someone is being deceiving. But actually, it's more so like that a person is they're being deceiving because the sheep is the ultimate like lower level energy. Like they have no original thought, while the wolf has the instinct. And it is a form of deceiving because it's like a person that's really awakened but that's trying to go along with the flow. It could be like the empath. It could be the person that has not discovered themselves. And it doesn't mean that they really are being deceiving. They have been deceived by themselves. And that's another way of how to look at a wolf in sheep's clothing. The Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf symbolism. Now, this one is one of my favorite ones to decode. So here we go. One of the most popular children's bedtime stories, which I'm really surprised that this is a bedtime story for children, but anyways, the innocent young girl disobeys her mother and takes the forbidden path that runs into the big bad wolf. Knowing her plans, the wolf, he arrives at the grandmother's house, takes out the grandmother, and surprises Little Red Riding Hood when she comes in. He eats Little Red Riding Hood. The red is the color of desire and sexual energy. She wore the red hood, and she carried the basket of red apples. So we know that the symbolism of apples is forbidden fruit. In art, you can see that Eve eats this fruit from the tree of good and evil. And this is the simulation as well with Eve, innocence of some sort, and Little Red Riding Hood, another form of innocence. And that also is making reference to an esoteric understanding of apples being of orchids, and orchards are being that of a type of phrase that they use for mystic knowledge. Some interpretations have Little Red Riding Hood leaning towards the underlying sexual attraction between the young, innocent girl that's of age and the more experienced wolf, the forbidden path she took in defiance to her mother. And in the end, she was taken advantage of or either gave into temptation. Red also represents temptation. Other interpretations of the story symbolizes seasons changing, and another says that the setting of the sun being cut out of the night, and the night is the wolf to represent beginning a new day. And another interpretation says that this represents Little Red Riding Hood as the young maiden that is starting her cycle. The wolf symbolism in alchemy. Alchemically, the moon epitomizes the element of silver, which represents the wolf energy. As a side note, this may be the reason why in fictional stories, silver is the only way to kill a werewolf. The wolf sometimes symbolizes metal antimony, which represents man's free spirit or animal nature. This is the way I interpret the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. A red top in alchemy is the Kundalini, the sexual energy, the philosopher's stone. Little Red was awakening on her quest to freedom. As all alchemists do, you take the forbidden path, the middle pathway. This is the way how to find the meaning of life and true purpose. She found the wolf on her path, which represents free spirit of man. The metal for the wolf is silver, which is the second to the last stage of alchemy before gold. After the union with the wolf, they merge, the alchemical marriage becoming the werewolf, in a sense. So moving on to the wolf in tarot, the two pillars and the beasts. The two pillars in the distance amongst the raging waves are both the conscious and the subconscious mind. So you can check out the decoding of the moon card. I will have that linked down below as well. The primary focus besides the moon are the two beasts howling at the moon. While both are closely related genetically, they differ. The dog being domesticated represents man, while the wolf runs wild and free, nature. This speaks to the inner workings of every individual, the awakened man, intuition, the right pillar, and the primordial man, logic, in the left pillar. Wolves and dreams. If you dream of a black wolf, this is a cause to question your life path. There may be something that is hidden there. There may be something that you have been concealing from yourself. If you dream of a white wolf, this means a white wolf without any spots. This means that you have clarity of mind, clarity of path. If you dream of a wolf, a white wolf that is spotted, this means that you are on the correct path, that you need to continue. There may be a couple hindrances or blockages in the way. If you dream of a mother cub with her cubs, this means that you have a multiple choices in a life path, that there could be multiple partners that you will have to more so nourish or wait for them to mature. If you dream of a she-wolf, this wolf could be white, but is primarily represented by a feminine energy, that this is a rebirth of the feminine energy, that you may have to go on a quest, or you may also have some type of shamanic gifts. If you dream of a wolf in the desert, this means that you have to go within and to do some self-exploring before embarking on any type of mission or relationship. If you dream of a wolf in sheep's clothing or a sheep in wolf's clothing, this means that you could be hiding aspects of yourself that you need to face, or someone could be a secret enemy. If you dream of being part of a wolf pack, this means that you could be embarking on a journey, or you're about to meet parts of your soul family. This also could be your literal family, something dealing with your literal family. If this is a circumstance in which you are one of the cubs and you have a motherly energy taking over you, taking care of you, such as like how a cub will be groomed by a mother, like licked by the mother. This is a blessing from the mother. It could be a maternal mother, or either a grandmother, or even an aunt. If it is a male type of bonding, even if you are a female, this is a rite of passage of some sort, or winning the approval of the father. If you dream of a wolf running, this could be a travel opportunity, or either this could be you running from something that you need to face. Another indication that can pair with this is if you are the wolf and you have a rabbit in your mouth, or some type of small animal. This could be some type of innocence that was taken from you that you have to take back, or either you could have overstepped your boundaries on a innocent person, and it's typically a younger person that this rabbit could represent. If you are the wolf and it's a snake in your dream, this can mean a number of things. So first, if you are the wolf and you are trying to step or snap at the snake, this could be an enemy that you are facing head on, or either an obstacle. If you are the wolf and you have killed the snake, this is you overcoming that type of obstacle or individual or presence in your life. If you dream of being a wolf in the desert specifically, then this is a time for it to be in isolation. This is a time for it to go within. If you dream of you being a wolf in the desert with a snake, this means that you have some parasites. It could be a sickness or illness, or either it could be something like a parasitic type of energy attached to you that you have to get rid of. So this could be actually going through a shamanic practice of some sort. Sometimes that could represent a entity that's attached to you because you have to do some type of dark night of the soul, and this is a way of how to be almost like inducted or initiated in some type of shamanic practice of some sort. But it comes from a spiritual, almost like a spiritual attack, if you will. And if you prove yourself to be worthy of overcoming that attack, then you have been initiated to some other parts of yourself as far as a shamanic initiation. Now, moving on, I wanted to share just a couple instances of my dreams pertaining to the wolf energy. I have shared this in several twin flame videos when I first started this ministry, and it did have to do with twin twin flame. So first, I'm going to share my latter dream about the wolf, and it's very similar to the wolf card. And I at this old house I used to live at, I peeped outside of the door. It was at pitch black nighttime, but I seen some headlights shining, and it was a white van, and it was two wolves inside of the van. The van was moving, and it was like, initially it seemed like they could have been fighting, but when I looked in there, they were howling, and they were howling up at the ceiling. And then I looked up, and it was a full moon. And this dream, it still hasn't really fully formed, but as I have done, work with my clients, some of them, they actually have a twin flame, or either they have a twin flame in a soulmate, or either two soulmates, and they actually are in relationship with both of them. And with that white van, this is talking about a unique type of situation. I don't know why it was a van. I guess it was just like a modern type of way of how to understand it, because if it had been like a chariot, I don't know, it would have just been different. Okay, so moving on to these other dreams. One dream that I had was like I was in a warehouse, and as I went in, it was completely vacant. I seen myself down at the very bottom of the warehouse, and I became like the wolf. I was looking through the wolf's eyes, and it was like all these different wolves that were looking down on me inside of the warehouse. And then I heard the voice. It says, "There's only one lone wolf." And then it went to another part of a dream where it was like this all white wolf, and it was amongst all this snow, like almost like an Arctic wolf. And then like the spirit, or my guide, took me around to the back right leg, and there were spots on the back right leg. It was all pure white, but on the back of the leg there was like darker spots, and that represents like uniqueness, and it represents something that is completely different. So it also represents like a healing of some type of infirmity. And with those spots, those represent like not just uniqueness, but it represents the wounds. Like the wolf could have been in a battle or something, and it was on the right side. The right side represents like the intuition, the feminine side, and something about the softness being injured. So like the ego being injured, but I know that the left side represents technically the ego, but it was something that was shattered in the ego space, or in the ego. And that was like two dreams mixed into one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can check out the playlist. There's plenty more spirit animals where this one came from. And next month we will be diving into the slithery awakened snake, and I will share my experiences with that, the occult in higher aspects and the lower energies of the snake. I will talk to you guys next time for the weekly. Okay, peace.